Hi. My name is Linda Allison, and this is my Brilliant Beyond blog. It's my homage to everything great about self-development, and I'm just going to be sharing a few tips and tricks with you over the course of the next wee while, and how you can have a brilliant beyond, because it doesn't really matter where you are starting off. Now, I'm not an expert in anything, although I do have a few academic qualifications, but I'm an expert in doing things my way. And these are my own personal experiences, my own personal opinions on how, and just documenting my life and how it's gone, and the things that I've done that, I've tried to make a difference to. And I want to share those things with you. Now, I've spoken to you about confidence, I've spoken to you about procrastination, I've spoken to you about perfectionism, I've spoken to you about personality types, and a lot of bloggers that I may watch, there's just your confidence, and it is a key component in life. But my thing is energy. I've always had a fascination with energy, how it has when I've got none and I feel so drained. And I've blamed this, I blamed that, I blamed the hormones, I blamed my life, I blamed every situation that I was in, that I wasn't good enough, blamed my parents. I've just had this blame culture, and it really went on to make my energy around me even more negative. So I've always been fascinated with energy, and this is where my journey takes on, is how I improve the energy in my life. So, and that came from a very low part. But I want just to take your mind back. Now, remember when you were young and you had loads of physical energy, and you were able to run up the stairs two at a time, you jumped off walls, you climbed trees, and for some of you, some of our kids now, they're not doing anything like that. But for me, I was a very physical child. I've always been into sports and fitness, and I will remain so the rest of my life, because that is just not an option for me. Exercise is an intrinsic part of my life, and it always will be. And I have my various practices, my body pump, my yoga, my Pilates, my cardio, my group cycle. They will always be an intrinsic part of my life, because exercise for me is one of the holy grails. But anyway, enough about that. We will definitely touch on exercise. But I'm talking about this power failure. So as you grow older and you collect more physical baggage, more mental baggage, the energy sources start to drain. And it's always about, I don't want it to ever be a fight, but for me it's always been about how you start to manifest more energy in your life. Because you manifest the energy in your life, things really do pick up for you. So it's not just about the confidence, because if you want the attitude to age in a brilliant beyond, I don't care what age you are, if you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, like me, in your 50s, 60s, 70s, beyond, you can have brilliant beyond years by starting to increase the energy in your life. Number one, people that you hang about with, the people that are in your life, will suck you dry if they are the wrong type. So if you've got negative people in your life, believe me, that's one of the problems, and you need to get rid. Okay, you need to be surrounded with people who want you to win, people who love you and care for you, who genuinely love you and care for you. Their body language is congruent with what they're saying. A lot of people can say things, but their body language, their behaviours are not congruent with what they're saying. So make sure you've got the right people in your life, because if you don't have the right people in your life, then it's just you're gonna have a shit time. Your food, okay? Stop eating so much shit. Now I'm telling myself that as well. You need to cut back on sugar, alcohol, and gluten to some extent as well. They all have inflammatory properties in the body that upsets the hormone, that upsets the gut. The gut and the brain are intrinsically linked. Most of your serotonin is made in the gut, your feel-good hormone. So if you're feeding your gut with shit, then you're going to feel like shit. Now, I've tried to cut I've cut my sucrose back to 2 teaspoonfuls a day, and I'm really going to try and cut it back more. My alcohol, have a glass of wine at the weekend, a Prosecco, the odd cocktail, but that's it, okay? And I'm recording this on a Sunday morning, and I was out last night, so trying to cut back and limit, and then still enjoy, but limit. If you can cut it all together, fantastic. Gluten to some extent as well, even although you've not got celiac disease. Some people do have gluten sensitivities. Gluten causes an inflammation of the body if you do have sensitivities, which then affects the hormonal balances. That then affects your energy, it affects your mindset. So therefore you can see how it then still all goes back to your energy. So your food is so important. Your exercise, I spoke about that earlier, okay? You need to do exercise. You need to have exercise. You have to move. Let's walk the dog, take a solitary walk, go to classes, go to the gym, swim, whatever you like, horse riding, golf, badminton. Your body was designed to move. If you don't move your body, it's going to sit and rust. Again, it's going to affect your energy, because you need to. One thing my husband always said to me, and I know it's so true, that you have to make the energy to create it. Okay, he would always watch people who were, and he would say that person's got no energy whatsoever, and it was true, because he lacked in motivation, because it was right back to their energy. So you need to make sure that you're doing plenty of exercise. And another thing, we're going to look at tips about your mindset, okay, your self-development, thing that I've been studying for the last 4 years. I'm moving on with. These are all the things I've joined together that I've seen a real correlation in energy, linking back to my attitude and the people that have been in my life, diets, what I eat, the amount of exercise, and I've been addicted to exercise. I've done far too much of it, causing me injury, exhaustion, real fatigue, because I just kept on doing it. It took me a long time to let go, but I have done so, and I'm all the better for it as well. But still always remains something very, very important to me. What you do on a daily basis, okay? The relationships, where you live, what you do for a living. If you hate it, you change it. Don't talk to me about money, okay, because I can't afford to do it, right? It's not about the money, it's about the way that you look at things. Now, I've known people in my life that I've seen with my very own eyes who have changed their lives for the better because they just walked away from a toxic relationship. They left their house up in the air. They took their children with them. They escaped to something that's given them such a far better life. They didn't know where they were going to get their money from. They struggled, right? And I know quite a number of people who have done that, and I totally and utterly respect that, because money was the last thing on their minds. So if you're telling me that you can't afford it, okay, I'm saying to you, it's not the money, it's the way you're looking at things, which comes back to your mindset, which will affect your energy, which will affect the likelihood of you living brilliant beyond years, okay? I know this quite a long blog, but I need you to look at those components, because what we're going to do is break them all down individually as we go along. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, I hope you're having a great Sunday, and look out for me for next week, because I'm going to start to look at me things that I do on a daily basis, you know, and I'm not getting into OMs and meditation and things like that. Surely when we move on, you'll find out that some of it is really, really important for your energy, because you've got to take time out for you. So have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.